Well, it's kind of hard to introduce the point of this video. I mean, it's in the fucking title. Just read. But as you know, VTubers in AI, that shit is like oil and water. However, we are seeing artists that do seem to actually be able to draw a little bit, trace over AI. Why they do this? I don't know. Shit beats me. I don't fucking. However, when artists do this off of first glance, it's really hard to tell. You may even think some of the like weird quirks and stuff, or maybe just stylistic choice, or artists just cutting corners to get shit done. Asumi-chan, an artist that has been doing commissions on VGen, a very anti-AI platform I might add, has been tracing over AI-generated images and biting off of other artist styles. And honestly, it's kind of blatant that Shadi is tracing over AI, in my opinion. Look at this time lapse. Just look at it. Thinking about it, people that don't draw might not know what the issue is with this, but we'll get to that. Like always though, before jumping the gun, let's talk about it.
You're watching StaticTokyo.
I just have to say, good job to Teru for making this Google Doc. This shit was hella easy to read. Even y'all could probably read it.
I'm like, what he say fuck me for?
Nah, for real though, you know me. I'm not gonna cover every single detail. Read the shit for yourself. They first go over a list of red flags to catch people that do trace with AI, most of which applies to Asumi arts or drawing with Asumi. The most notable ones is that art would be deleted whenever someone even utters the word AI, or the comments were hidden and ignored. Asumi art would also change style frequently, which switching and trying different styles is normal for artists to do, but Shadi would like have no prior transition into the new style, and the new styles would be a style from another existing artist.
Wait a minute!
As of right now, her style resembles Ixi, a Japanese artist who unfortunately has an AI bot that trained with her art without her consent, or their consent.
Stole that shit.
The artwork that Asumi deleted used to be the style of another Japanese artist named Ogi Podi. I'm probably butchering their names. The Tokyo in my name is just because it sounds good, my nigga, you know, keep it easy. But Ogi was also another artist that had their art basically stolen and used for AI learning. Another usual sign is an obvious jump in skill in a very short time period. A nigga can't just pick up a brush on some epic Mickey shit and know how to do perfect anatomy and coloring and line work and all that shit. Usually though, the thing to look out for is the line work, since line work is usually something you can't fake as easily. That shit takes time. However, since in this case it seems to be a person that does have the ability to draw to some extent, the line work isn't a very clear sign here. Asumi would also deny giving definitive proof that they aren't tracing, and you may go, but Static, there's a time lapse. Calm down, nigga, we're getting there. But we got to the point where niggas have to use specific programs where multiple artists can draw on the same canvas and see what each other are doing. So of course, if a nigga is tracing, the other people on the canvas will see it.
Who the fuck is gigging?
You understand why it's sus that Asumi didn't want to do this?
That's weird.
It's like saying you're not on drugs, and then when they ask you to take a drug test, you say no. It's like, alright, well, you're definitely on drugs then. It just makes you look silly. Now, I don't even gotta read this shit word for word to tell y'all why this shit looks sketchy as hell. It looks sketchy because there's no fucking sketch. Shadi's just drawing. For those that don't know, when an artist draws, there's usually some sort of base. There is multiple ways to do this, but it's usually some featureless figure composed of shapes and lines or some shit. You see how these legit time-lapse look compared to Asumi's? They have some sort of base. Asumi doesn't. And on top of that, she's not messing up either. Like, the Control-Z keys aren't being used, so she is drawing without a sketch flawlessly. Now, to talk about how time-lapses work, in Clip Studio Paint, which happens to be a software I actually use whenever I want to doodle like stick figures or whatever, you would think that when you hit record on the time-lapse to, you know, start the recording, it will show everything you're doing on the canvas, every layer.
Your man's watching Naked Booty Niggas Remastered.
But nope, you can just hide layers, which kind of makes time lapses meaningless when you try to prove that you're innocent, which makes Asumi declining to do the shared canvas request even more suspicious. On October 7th, Teru called out an artwork that looks like Asumi just traced over it, to which Asumi blocked them. A day later, Asumi uploaded another time-lapse. Then on October 9th, Asumi deleted 2 time-lapses that have been there since April of 2025. VGen took notice, hit Asumi up, basically asking for proof she isn't using AI, and they asked how she is able to just draw without any sketch. And Shadi's response was like ChatGPT after a time in Night City.
Practicing with beautiful lines after without sketches and thick outlines would make you proud to do it yourself. But people tend to misunderstand. I posted a new video. I hope it answers your questions.
What?
You might think that maybe English isn't her first language, but she didn't talk like this in any other messages. So it seems to just be vague to dodge the question. Vjun is like, so you're just built like that? Asumi goes, yep, I'm just goated, but then says that she does erase and redo her drawings a lot, but Clip Studio only records the video from where you last left off.
That is not correct.
Actually, you can only export the recording or stop the recording. And when you go to stop it, Clip Studio Paint will give you a warning that you're about to stop it. Now, when you look at the time-lapse that was posted on October 8th, this one does have a sketch. However, it's a time-lapse in Procreate, which is a drawing application that is primarily used on iPads. The thing with Procreate time-lapses though, it's also hella easy to just hide layers, so this kinda isn't proof at all. However, like we mentioned earlier, the only way to get definitive proof is to go on a shared canvas, so you can basically draw in front of an audience that can see literally everything you're doing on the canvas. Asami was basically given this opportunity, and Shadi basically
I don't need to keep proving myself over and over again because of what people say about me. I want to take part in the witch hunts or hate culture that start when people put themselves above others.
Yeah, she said no, and obviously it's a common thing for AI tracers to get defensive whenever someone asks for a shared canvas to just see their workflow firsthand. Asumi, however, doesn't seem to be new to niggas accusing her of using AI, since a lot of art of hers was deleted due to people finding AI-like inconsistencies, tracing all the way back to 2024 on Asumi's old account that got suspended. Mind you, again, a completely different style than her current, by the way.
Is this nigga serious?
Now, as an American, unfortunately I know how guns look. In fact, I'm pretty sure anyone that has played any game with weapons or firearms have a general idea of how blasters look. Can I say the word? I don't know, whatever. At least to the point they know that the muzzle of the gun isn't facing the user. Now, I trust my YouTube audience's IQ level to know that this isn't right. Also, I'm scared to show a real blaster, one may say, on the screen. Otherwise, I'll get hit with lightning by the YouTube gods. Also, there was the usual AI inconsistencies where hair doesn't make much sense. Just a lot of inconsistencies with things you wouldn't catch at a glimpse, but once zoomed in, it's very not,
You know what I'm saying?
correct. When doing fan art, of course, AI doesn't do a good job on completely replicating it correctly, like how a human would. So certain design elements don't line up.
That don't work.
Another coincidence is that a VTuber by the name of Saba was highly anticipated, and artists were drawing fan art based off of the small snippets that Saba posted. AI niggas took the small snippets and fan art to train the AI. However, obviously what the AI spewed out was the wrong interpretation of the design, since it was learning based off of predictions and snippets. When Saba released the real design, AI niggas were quick to train the AI to be more correct. The earliest results was on June 28th, 2025. Asumi does fan art for Saba 2 days after this. Tail placement was off, tiny details like the boat was gone, and the bow on the ear is gone. So as we stated before, Asami would have one style and switch it like she owns the Omnitrix or something, while also deleting old art with the previous style. Obviously, deleting old art in and of itself isn't really a bad thing. A lot of artists delete their old work, even though artists are doing it less and less now just to show that they are legit. Teru even caught Asami deleting stuff.
That motherfucker's cheating!
They took a screenshot of her Pixiv page on October 7th, and when Teru was writing this doc on October 11th, that's when they saw that all those artworks were white. The style they are using right now is Ixie. This is Ixie's art from November of 2020, and this is Ixie's art being used in AI on April of 2024, and this is Asami's art in July of 2024.
You don't find that suspicious?
There's also similar poses being used. The artist style they were seemingly using before was Ogi from 2023 to mid 2024. And Ogi already spoken about how fucking annoying the AI shit is since like 2023. Asami also follows Ogi and Ixie and a few other artists with similar styles on various platforms. But to show y'all, this is Ogi's art, and this is Asami's art.
That motherfucker's cheating!
It's not looking good for Asami, like, at all. Also, there is a bunch of AI-like details in some of these backgrounds in Asami's art. It's kind of hard to tell those sometimes since the backgrounds are like blurred to give it like a focus effect. It doesn't help Asami's case either when the AI models for this art style was uploaded before Asami did art in this style. Now, if there wasn't any AI model before Asami did art in this style, then the chances of it being traced are greatly reduced, but sadly, that isn't the case. Asami was also taking commissions, and these were also done after Ogi's style was able to be generated by AI. Asami also had Uekura's art style for a bit, but weirdly enough, Asami had Uekura blocked, which I don't know, make of that what you will. But again, with the same trend of this art style being snatched by AI before Asami started using the style. But for those that don't know the stark contrast of styles that Asami has exhibited here, look at this chart. Of the same characters, but just different styles. Shit looks sus. You're either Ben 10 with the arts, or you're doing some slimy shit.
Stole that shit.
Teru then goes on to question the growth of improvement being just hella fast from 2021 to 2025. Around 2023 is when AI backgrounds start to come into the picture, as well as Asami using Ogi's style. And then as we know, Asami later swapped to Ixi style. So apparently at some point during the night of November 28th or very early of November 29th, Asami went on a mass deletion spree. Asami mass deleted a bunch of shit. All fan art is gone and is really just her OC. Teru noticed this shit on the 29th of November. Coincidentally enough, before midnight of November 28th, Teru emailed Asami, apologizing about their harsh wording and a quote retweet that led Asami to block them. Teru emailed Asami hoping to clear things up, and Teru thought, hey, maybe I'm tweaking and making connections out of nothing. Teru requested to see the PSD or layers of these artworks, but Teru at the time thought these were AI generated.
Who the fuck is this nigga, bro?
Due to the inconsistencies that just wouldn't make sense of a human of seemingly this skill would have. Now, there was also just a crazy output of art on Asami's account, plus the commissions she was doing on VGen, which has been taken down by VGen themselves. But Shadi was making like 60 plus complete pieces in 57 days. Crazy output. Teru says it's not completely impossible, but then points out that sometimes the anatomy of her OC appears to not have much consistency. Now, this is where my vision clocks out because the anatomy does look around the same or similar to me, but I don't know. Shit. Teru points out that there are some weird things with this time-lapse where Shadi would erase a line to correct it but not actually correct it, like it looks the same. I personally do see a bit of a difference, and I personally know that some of my artist friends get picky like that. Like, these lines appear to be way girthier than these ones. But Teru also points out that the sweater isn't very consistent when it comes to like the braided parts. Now, as we know, Asami was taking commissions on VGen for like 150 beans. That's quite a bit of money. You know how many hot and readies that is? And funny enough, this whole thing came to my attention when my homie Halo told me about it, because Halo, unfortunately, was one of the people that commissioned Asami. In fact, she was the last one to commission Asami. VGen is having a bit of an issue with artists not exactly generating AI, but tracing over it, which is obviously harder to spot, especially if the person can draw. And I even pointed out that maybe Asami only did skeb-like commissions because it gives her more wiggle room for poses, because if it's something specific that a client requests, it'll be harder to get it exactly how they want it with AI. And it'd be easier to spot when a person is probably using AI since what they drew doesn't match the vision. You get what I mean? I don't want that shit to put pressure on skeb artists though, because it can quickly devolve into people not trusting skeb artists, but it is something that I think is interesting to think about. Asami's response was this drawing. So, yeah, her VGen is gone, like I said. This image was her response. So I guess she's just going to keep it pushing. I don't know. Actually, got new info as I was recording this video. Shadi actually gave proof of her drawing. Why does this shit have quotes in it? I'll get to that. But it's basically her recording herself drawing. You can see the tablet in her hands. And usually, this is pretty cut and dry. And, wait, Jarvis?
Sir?
Enhance image.
Yes, sir.
So this is a color wheel / slider. And the thing with the color wheel is that there's green. Now, for those that don't know how to chroma key, actually, you know what? I use a green screen. I just chroma key it out in editing. It's very, very easy to do. Asami here had something she was tracing that was green and chroma keyed it out so we couldn't see it.
That motherfucker's cheating!
And also you can see some of the chroma key bleed over some of the lines he was making. This is easily something you can miss if you aren't paying close attention. But yeah, shouts out to JK for finding this out, by the way. This for me is kind of puts a nail in the coffin, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, as a person that doesn't fuck with generative AI, this icks me out. And it's even worse considering that she went to lengths to chroma key shit in the video that she was using to prove she isn't using AI. So it's just kind of ick, you know what I mean? Also, I do want to point out there are people now using Asami's email to sign her up to various sites to just fuck with her, which is not cool. It's fucked up. Don't do that shit. Don't do that. But what do you guys make of this? If you happen to be a VTuber as well, or just a nigga that commissions art, have you ever had a story of learning that the person you commissioned used AI in some way? I personally haven't yet, but that's because I'm very picky in the artists I choose. Alright, well, like and subscribe and all that shit, I guess. I'll see y'all later. I don't normally say that, but I said it this time. Alright, peace. Oh yeah, when people started to peep that she green screened something out, she deleted the video and anything relating to the allegations. She still got kicked off of VGen though, that's just not coming back.